Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Black Cat Show. Another episode that's 2 hours late. Unfortunately, I've been very busy around my general start time, so my apologies for that. But I will be trying to stream every day for the foreseeable future, as long as I'm able, which might not be all that much longer. We'll see, but. I'm really enjoying it. The audience is really enjoying it. I like doing this. I like talking about niche topics on stream. It's a lot of fun. It's just difficult sometimes to fit it into your daily routine. Like, for example, today I ended up watching through all of One Punch Man, right? Or the first season of One Punch Man, right? Great show. Great anime. Had a lot of fun. This is like, I want to say this is the third or fourth time I've watched it. Probably the third. Great show. And I still haven't seen season 2. I looked, but I can't seem to find a method of viewing season 2 online. I think I'll have to look. I think I found it on Viz. Like, for some reason they have it up for free, but not on Amazon Prime. I don't know. Like, they have it up for free on their website, but not on Amazon Prime, or just. I don't know. This is the first time I've been wanting to watch a show. I've been kind of confused. Like, why is only season 1 on Amazon Prime? Like, season 2 has been out for a while, hasn't it? Like, I want to say over a year, and I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet. But I actually know very little about season 2. I haven't bothered to watch it yet or follow any of the media about it at all. I just know it doesn't have the same animation studio, so I was kind of disappointed by that. I was thinking I should go ahead and just read the manga, actually, but I have so much manga to get caught up on, man. Like, I'm reading Dr. Stone. I want to read One Piece. Well, I was getting through One Piece before I got distracted by Dr. Stone. I have, like, I think like a dozen series to get through. Like, Rurouni Kenshin I would want to get through. Lots and lots of stuff. So I just don't have time. Like, I'm trying to do it, though. I've spent, like, the past couple of weeks getting through my backlog of games and movies and shows I had physically. So hopefully I'll be able to get back to anime here soon. Anime on Funimation and things like that. Lots of things I still want to watch. Like Kill la Kill I still haven't finished. I don't know why I haven't finished that. I was looking into buying Fist of the North Star. I have, like, a complete Blu-ray DVD picked out, and I cannot wait to buy it. But yeah, I have to focus on what's in front of me first, like the stuff I already own and haven't watched. So I'm going through all that, lots and lots of stuff. But great show. Check out One Punch Man if you haven't already. Maybe I'll do a write-up tomorrow. But okay, so although I personally had a very great, fulfilling day, right? Doing a bunch of things that I wanted to do, right? Playing Dragon Quest XI, writing articles on blackcatbooks.org, doing all my things, right? Although I had a great day today, it seems like it's been a bad week, a bad day for America, because I just saw a bunch of really bad news today. It felt like I had a whole bunch of things to talk about, and I'm not even sure if I actually... Oh, that's right. I got a hold of some Antifa documents. Maybe next time. I got to remember to do that. Do I still have them? Yeah, some Antifa documents got leaked, and I was going to show them off on stream, but I forgot. I was just so angered by this news right here, and by certain other news that we'll also be covering. Maybe we'll go over the Antifa thing if I find time, but man, oh man, this is a new low for California. I don't know how these fuckers have, like, dug themselves into this, like, vast bottomless abyss and somehow can keep digging further, but they somehow manage, man. It's like they can somehow just warp through rock. You know what I mean? They just hit rock bottom and they just like sink right through it. Like they don't even sink. They just phase right through it. Like it's not even fucking there. So California, you know, which is the centerpiece, I think, for a lot of this rampant degeneracy, right? Like lots of the worst policies in the nation, right? Overtaxed, lots of problems in California, right? But lots of sexual degeneracy, like lots of the gays, or lots of gay culture. Individuals are centered there. SJW culture is basically centered there. Like it's been a shithole for a really, really long time, and more and more people are becoming aware of that, I think. It's not a state that anybody wants to live in. Plenty of people are fleeing California to other states, primarily Texas, but it's getting really, really bad over there, government-wise. And I think this is a really, really good example as to why. Like, I think that this is just another example of just everything that's thank you. I've been trying to take care of myself. I've just been working so hard on everything. I have like all this writing stuff, and I want to grow the channel and the website. It's just it's getting I am really tired, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I am trying my best. California introduces bill to protect pedophiles who sexually abuse innocent kids. Make no mistake, this is the end result of normalizing homosexuality. This is actually what they've been planning to do since the beginning. Like this is how they were trying to normalize pedophilia, was just like, well, if the child is willing, if it's two consensual adults, it's okay. Well, if the child is consenting to it, it's okay. Like they just keep pushing their boundaries. It's why you can't tolerate it at all, because they're just going to go more and more extreme. Make no mistake, it's the gays that made this happen. And I mean, gays and pedophiles go hand in hand. It's not really a secret. To protect pedophiles who sexually abuse innocent kids. Sacramento, California. If you're a pedophile and want to rape sweet, innocent young children, then California is the state for you. Remind me not to take my kids out to California. If you're a parent who cares about the safety of your sweet, innocent young children, then get the hell out of California. The far left is going even further off the deep end, an act I didn't even think was possible. And the ones most affected by their proposed asinine legislation are those very children you want so much to protect. And pedophiles want so much to molest. Isn't it interesting how they'll like say shit like, oh, we need to ban guns to protect children, and then they turn around and say like, oh, we got to protect pedophiles, we got to protect criminals. Like, it's just no, we don't. Why do you think you have so many problems? State Senator Scott Wiener, I'm not even going to comment on the appropriateness of his name here. What is with these names? Like, remember Dick Pound? Remember, like, who is that guy? Dick Pound, right? The guy who was, like, dealing with COVID? Like, Dick Pound. There was, what was that other guy? Like, who was the wolf guy? Like, that wolf guy who had the ridiculous name? Like, Mr. Medicare pointed it out. Like, what is with these government officials with their ridiculous names? Like, you keep seeing this, like, over and over and over again. It's just really weird. It feels almost like a joke. Like we're being mocked. And Assemblywoman Susan Eggman, fucking Eggman, Dr. Eggman co-introduced Senate Bill 145. Okay, we want to go through the entire bill. Okay, for sure. Is this the actual bill? I want to see the bill. Hang on, where's the actual bill? Hang on. Okay, Senate Bill 145. Hang on. Yeah, let's go ahead and read the bill. And sex offenders registrations. Oh wait. I want the actual bill. Oh, that looks like a face. That absolutely looks like the face of someone who would endorse and support this bill. Like, not gonna lie, just. Gee, I wonder why he's in favor of it. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here's the text. All right, we'll go through the article and then read the actual bill. State Senator Scott Wiener. Oh wait. The legislation reads, in part, this bill would authorize a person convicted of certain offenses involving minors to seek discretionary relief from the duty to register if the person is not more than 10 years older than the minor. Oh, so they're trying to lower the... So I guess they're trying to widen the age gap. So if you're not more than 10 years older, you're not really a pedophile. California LGBTQ caucus votes to protect the 22-year-olds who engage in sex with 12-year-olds from blatant discrimination. Yes, you've read that right. Yeah, that is unacceptable. Wiener said, currently, for consensual yet illegal sexual relations between a teenager aged 15 and over and a partner within 10 years of age, it does not require the offender to go onto the sex offender registry. Rather, the judge decides based on the facts of the case whether sex offender registration is warranted or unwarranted. By contrast, for other forms of intercourse, specifically oral and anal intercourse, sex offender registration is mandated under all situations with no judicial discretion. What does it all mean? It means that the left believes that it's LGBTQ to not require a pedophile to register as a sex offender just because he sticks his penis inside of a little boy's butt. But this is reality here, people. There's no age listed in this legislation as there is in current law. So depending on the sexual abuser's age, this could potentially stop protecting children at the age of 8. It means that a bleeding heart judge can allow a sex offender to just live his truth because, hey, it's not his fault that he is obsessed with and turned on by children. Yeah, that really needs to stop. Like, oh, it's because of what they want. Bullshit. They've been conditioned to want that by these people, by this community, by this culture. Like, you have to push back against it, but you can't allow it to fester. Like, if you allow it to fester, you end up with people like Digibro, right? You end up with people like who just revolve their entire lives around fantasizing about fucking little girls, right? Who get into lolicon and all this stupid, disgusting, degenerate shit. It means that an 18-year-old man can engage in sexual intercourse or activities with an 8-year-old boy or girl and would not necessarily have to register as a sex offender. Just read those last few sentences one more time to make sure you are taking in the absolute horrendousness of it. Oof. How can this even be possible, you might be asking? I know that's one question, among many others, that I had after taking in this information. The answer is just as absurd as the legislation, because if the pervert is able to be qualified as LGBTQP, yes, that P is for pedophilia, then he is just expressing himself in his child fetish. Are they officially slapping the P on there now? Like, it really does feel like we're going in that direction, where they're going to have to do that. And, I mean, why do you think they're trying to shove it in kids and put it in schools and indoctrinate, like, children? Like, they want to fuck little kids. Like, I don't understand what's so difficult to understand about that. Like, there are a lot of fucking pedophiles out there in government, like, in positions of power who would absolutely fuck little boys if they could get away with it. And that's kind of what they're doing now, is that they want it to be normalized. They want it to be accepted. And, it's this crazy sort of attitude that led to LGBT to be considered normal, acceptable to begin with. Make no mistake, they're going to keep pushing on this going forward. I know that's one question among many others that I had after taking in this information. The answer is just as absurd as the legislation, because if the pervert is able to be qualified as LGBTQ, because yes, let's allow our children to be molested and raped, all in the name of equality. Also, so that some sicko can take sexual advantage of innocent young humans. Also, these sick, child-obsessed deviants can feel included and not feel abnormal. Well, guess what? Sorry to tell you, but sexually touching a child is abnormal. I don't care how uninclusive I sound. That's just the bottom line. Gayness is abnormal, too. It's not normal to be obsessed with children in a sexual way. It's not okay to allow someone to molest a child because you don't want to make him feel bad about himself. It's not okay to put the perverted indulgences of someone with obviously severe mental health issues above the safety of our children. LET has a private home for those who support. I can't put it any better than the National Sentinel. It's not discrimination to arrest someone and charge them with sexually abusing a minor if, in fact, there is evidence of the crime. I would say it's not discrimination to arrest and charge them with sexually abusing a minor if, in fact, they are sexually abusing a minor. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Just be like, yeah, this is abuse. Fuck these people. It's not discriminatory to convict and sentence them. It's not discriminatory to make them register as sex offenders, regardless of their sexual orientation, unless, of course, you're a lunatic pervert yourself. This is not about LGBTQ rights. This is not a homo or transphobic issue. It's not a party issue. This is about protecting our babies. Our children. Oh, no, our children. Our children don't deserve to be exploited and sexually abused just because we won't want to hurt someone's feelings. But you don't understand. Children are children. They've never had to deal with all the problems of adult sex. Like how dare you? How dare you reject them? Like, how dare you neglect their need to be sexually abused by these pedophiles? Okay. If they have the right to express themselves by molesting and raping children, then surely the parents of said children have the right to express their displeasure with the acts of kicking their asses. No, not in California. That would be a hate crime. SB 145 was introduced in last January's legislative session, but suspended before it reached the floor for vote in September. Reports from the LGBTQ community rage that the bill was just a ruse to get votes for the 2020 election, and they may be right. If I were a Californian, though, I wouldn't be taking any chances. Oof. Yeah, what a mess. What a mess. Oof. Let me see here. All right, let's go ahead and look through the bill itself. Introduced by Senator Wiener, who I am sure is a pedophile. January 18th, 2019. Legislative Council's Digest. SB 145, as amended, Wiener, Sex Offenders Registration. Existing law, the Sex Offender Registration Act, requires a person convicted of one of certain crimes, as specified, to register with law enforcement as a sex offender while residing in California or while attending school or working in California, as specified. A willful failure to register, as required by the Act, is a misdemeanor or felony, depending on the underlying offense. This bill would exempt from mandatory registration under the Act a person convicted of certain offenses involving minors if the person is not more than 10 years older than the minor, and if that offense is the only one requiring the person to register. So, like, if you have another case outside of that, if that one case, you still might be labeled a sex offender, if I'm understanding this correctly. Vote majority, appropriation, no. Fiscal community, yes. Local program, no. The people of the state of California do enact as follows. The people want pedophiles to be enabled? I really doubt that. I doubt California is even that stupid. Sections 290 to 290 inclusive shall be known and may be cited as the Sex Offender Registration Act. All references to the Act in those sections are to the Sex Offender Registration Act. Every person described in subdivision for the rest of the person's life while residing in California or while attending school or working in California, as described in sections, shall register with the chief of police of the city in which the person is residing, or the sheriff of the county if the person is residing in an unincorporated area or city that has no police department, and additionally with the chief of police of a campus of the University of California, the California State University, or community college that this person is residing upon the campus or any of its facilities. Let's see. The following person shall register. Any person who, since July 1st, 1944, has been or is hereafter convicted in any court in the state or any federal military court of a violation of Section 100, in the perpetration or an attempt to perpetuate rape or any act punishable under Section. Well, I don't know what any of these sections are. I don't know California law. I'm not a lawyer. Any offense involving lewd or lascivious conduct under or any felony violation, any statutory predecessor that includes all elements of one of the above mentioned offenses, or any person who since that date has been or is hereafter convicted of the attempt or conspiracy to commit any of the above mentioned offenses. Let's see. This section shall remain in effect only until January 1st, 2021, and as of that date is repealed. So they're getting rid of, like, punishing pedophile? Yeah, I'm going to have a lawyer look at this shit. I'm sure Nick Ricada will cover this on his show. I probably shouldn't have tried to tackle it myself because I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's see. But yeah, it's like what I've been saying. It's getting worse and worse all the time, man. They're trying to pass more and more bullshit laws to to fuck you over more and more, and it's getting way out of hand, really, really out of hand. Let me see. Let's see if we have any interesting tweets about it. Last night, the California state legislature passed SB 145, and it now goes to Governor Newsom. It would lower the penalties for adults who have sex with willing same-sex minors. Judge could decide if it's only same-sex. Like, do you still get slammed if it's a girl? A judge could decide if an adult has to register as sex offender if the offender is within 10 years of age of victim. So SB 141 needs clarification. Here we go. This is such a twisted and frankly false claim. SB 144 amends. Let's see. The law starts off laying out who is subject to this law. Yeah. While the law is written for consensual penile to vaginal intercourse, and only in this form of intercourse are judges given legal precedence to give soft punishments, of any. There is no legal precedence for penile to anal or oral intercourse, meaning that for that same consenting couple, if they were both males, then there is no legal wiggle room, so to speak, for a soft sentence. The judge must rule the older as a sex offender at the federal level, even though it is the same situation, which has led to a narrative of LGBTQ plus individuals being seen as pedophiles, sexual deviants, etc. Well, you are. Like, there's no getting around that. In a 6-2 vote, California passed SB 145, a pro-pedophilia bill. It says no registration or felony is required if age difference between victim and offender is 10 years or less. So an 18-year-old can have sex with an 8-year-old and not have to register as a sex offender. Yeah, that's ridiculous. The normalization of pedophile is happening right in front of us. Spare me your sanctimonious bullshit. Most of these righteous mofos only give a fuck about themselves and the gram. SB 145 was just passed in California. Yeah. It was the author was endorsed by Kamala Harris. Ooh, that's bad. We literally have, like, someone running for vice president who's endorsing fucking pedophiles. Joe Biden is fucking gonna get destroyed this election. It's not even gonna be a competition. It is gonna be like the most one-sided slam I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, I legit believe we could see, like, all 50 states be red. Like, all 50 states go for Trump. Like, it is that bad. Like, Biden has, like, no support at all. Like, literally no one is voting Democrat this fucking year. Like, people don't hate Trump enough. Like, it's weird to say, but the people who hate Trump are only trained to do so by the media, right? They're basically brainwashed. They don't have any real idea of, like, who Trump is, what he does, what he stands for, even how, like, basic things, how the government works. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking about people who don't understand why the police and borders exist. You know what I mean? Like, these are people who bitch about having to pay rent, every month. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're completely worthless people. And they just don't hate Trump enough, man. They don't have enough political knowledge. They don't have enough. They don't understand his methods. They don't understand his skill set. They don't understand what, like, the country needs right now. You know what I mean? Like, they don't understand shit. And you can kind of see that with the people who are blindly supporting Joe Biden. It's like, oh, well, we got to get rid of Trump. Why? Because he's racist. How? Fucking how? Like, I do think the race card is really, really running its course. I don't think it's going to be a thing much longer. Like, with black people just acting the way they are. Well, I don't even want to say blacks, because I have been saying blacks, but, since the riots have been happening, since, like, America has started turning against them, like, I've been seeing more and more people, right, of black descent, right, black people, like, coming out, like, openly condemning the riots. You know what I mean? Like, no, these people aren't worthy of your respect. Oh, by the way, that's a good segue into my next point. Something I became aware of just before I went live. Jacob Blake. Yes. This is This is confirmed to be real. Jacob Blake, our boy, the guy who was shot in the back 7 times in front of his children, it turns out that he's a vicious anti-Semite. Look at this. The Jewish-controlled media tells you what they want you to hear, and he uses the wrong form of "to," you uneducated fuck, but it's just like, what the fuck? Okay. This is the person that Black Lives Matter is pumping out as a martyr, right? Like as a hero, like a literal anti-Semite, right? Like he literally fucking hates the Jewish people. He's literally fucking Hitler. This is the kind of people you're enabling, right? This is the kind of these are the people that this is Black Lives Matter. Like this is the movement, right? Like George Floyd, drug addict, everyone there, like, you know, the people who are killed, they generally deserve to be killed, right? For whatever reason. George Floyd died of a drug overdose, of course, but Jacob Blake needed to be shot, right? Like, there's always a reason for it, you know what I mean? And the left always makes these excuses. They always call this shit like, oh man, like no knock warrants shouldn't exist. Police shouldn't have guns. They shouldn't make black people uncomfortable. Like they do all this shit. They don't understand the reality of what this profession entails, or of anything really, of financials, of business, of politics, of police work, of anything really, education. Like they just like have this weird mindset. Like, okay, you need to have more female employees. You need to have more black workers. You need to give black people more money and opportunities. And oh, by the way, speaking of black people and money, Black Lives Matter and money. How much of the money that's been donated to Black Lives Matter has gone to black communities? Literally none of it. Like, all of it's going to Democratic campaigns. And I'm not sure if I've ever said this on stream before. I think I've alluded to this fact, but has anybody noticed that BLM only seems to be relevant during, like, election years? Like, they're here, they showed up in 2016. That was the last time they were relevant, I imagine. I think they were somewhat active in 2018, right? And then they were active in 2014. So they're they kind of feel like they surface during these situations where, like, the Democrats need black people to rally behind some retarded cause, right? Like, we gotta get rid of Donald Trump. He's a racist. We gotta get rid of those capitalists. We gotta get rid of those filthy redneck Republicans. It's just it's like it's so dumb. Like, it really is. And I think more and more Americans, especially those who are following the news online, right, who are actively watching these clips, studying the phenomenon, studying these situations, like, you become more and more aware that Black Lives Matter is not a group that you should support. You know what I mean? And it's seeping into the mainstream, I think. Like, people don't look at these riots and say, like, oh man, black people are so angry at being mistreated by society. No! You're fucking with people who didn't do anything wrong. You are fucking with innocence. You are doing things that are ruining the people around you in order to get free stuff. And make no mistake, in the lower levels, it's about the looting. It's about, like, the wanton violence. It's about the wanton violence. How do you say that? How do you pronounce that? Well, it's about the violence. It's about the murder. It's about, like, doing whatever you want, being anarchist, right? And getting some free stuff out of it, right? It's not about George Floyd. These people don't care about George Floyd. They're only going out there. They're only doing this stuff. They're only crying racism because they think it's going to get them what they want, which, more money, more reparations, more things, right? It needs to be put a stop to. And it's really not a race thing. Like, I've noticed this on the stream. I'm sure other people have noticed this too, but a lot of white people there, a lot of communists who I hold in just as low a regard as, like, the blacks. Obviously, like, the situations are different. Like, white guilt is different than, like, taking advantage of these situations. But they're still disgusting people, right? They're both. Everyone at the riots is a piece of shit. Like, there's no denying that. I fucking hate all of them. But it needs to stop. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to just stop yesterday. They need to figure something out. They need to do something about it. And I think Trump is taking major steps forward on that. Like, I've heard recently that they actually managed to bypass the DA. So what they were doing, they were just the street level cops, right? The typical cops of the districts. They were arresting people, turning them in, and then they would just be let go because they were peacefully protesting. And what's happening now is that I think they've set it up where like all the rioters, right? All the people who peacefully burn, loot, and murder all of America. All of these people are charged with federal crimes, so like they can't just be turned out that way. So that should put a stop to it, and I do think we're going to see a stop to the riots by November. Like the only reason they kicked off anyway was for election purposes. Again, black votes matter. It's a joke. It really is not all that impressive. I'm not all that impressed with the happenings here. Oh, by the way, Ted Wheeler. Damn, I am so regretful of the fact that I am not like actively watching this motherfucker and his like day-to-day shenanigans. Because like watching this motherfucker in real time, actually like knowing this guy's name, like knowing he's like the mayor of like a major like Antifa stronghold in one of the most protest heavy cities in the nation. Like I was really curious as to how this was. I was really curious. I knew nothing about this guy before the riots, okay? But now he's like become the symbol, right? The symbol of everything wrong with the way politicians have handled these fucking riots. I don't know what it is, man, but like every time I hear of something he said or done, it's just like, holy fucking shit, what an asshole. What an asshole. And his most recent claim to fame, his biggest deal, the biggest fiasco, the thing that got everybody talking, he moved out of Portland because the rioters kept showing up at his apartment. Let me repeat that. He moved out of his own city because the rioters were bothering him. Why? Keep in mind, like, this is a motherfucker who's enabled the riots, who supported them, who's like insisted they've been like peacefully protesting racism or whatever bullshit they come up with. Like, this is the guy, right? This is the poster child of this of what you're supposed to do with Black Lives Matter. And well, for one thing, they turn on him, right? Because they don't like him either for whatever reason. I don't know why. I haven't bothered to research it. Like, I do need to like do an entire Ted Wheeler stream or something like that. Again, I have not been up to date on like all of the happenings and all the lore regarding these riots or Ted Wheeler, but they don't like him either, from what I understand. And they did end up driving him out of his like multi-million-dollar like penthouse in Portland or whatever, his apartment. It's worth like what, $1 million or some shit. Funny how all these people are like filthy, stinking rich. I wonder how this motherfucker got so much money. But anyway, so they drove him out. In spite of everything he said and done, and let's see what he's said about the matter. Has he actually released a real statement? Oops. Trump threatens to withdraw federal funds, possibly including health, education, and safety net dollars Americans need to get through the pandemic and economic crisis. What pandemic crisis? Okay. I need to like talk about this because, you know, I recently quit a job and got another one, right? It took me a couple of weeks, but I got it. I got like 5 or 6 offers. I don't know how many I got, but I got plenty of people wanting to hire me, right? Like off of the bat, right? Well, in part because it's of my skill set and how prepared I was with my resume and stuff like that. I have a good background. I'm a good employee is what I'm getting at. I'm desirable, but the narrative for these people, especially for those who are like those who are enabling like the lazy fucks of society. Oh, people can't work. It's dangerous. They can't find work. The pandemic, it's impacting the economy. Bull fucking shit. I have done so much in the past couple of weeks, months actually, well, all year, past several years. Okay, since the pandemic started, I've been making moves to make more and more money in more and more inventive ways, right? Like, of course, I have the website. I have this YouTube channel I'm hoping will be monetized eventually. I'm doing all this stuff. But outside of that, right? Outside of like the dream, right, of being a novelist, right? Of publishing books and just staying at home playing video games and watching anime. Like, I am working day-to-day jobs, right? Like, I am going out, talking to people, networking, going to interviews, stuff like that, with people I've never met before, by the way. And it's all very normal. It's all very natural. They're definitely hiring. I don't understand this narrative that people can't find work. Yes, they fucking can. They just don't try, right? That's the reality. Because for a good chunk of the population, like, the government has made it exceedingly easy to not do shit. Like, regardless of the situation. Like, right now, I think most of America is just using COVID as, like, an excuse to not work, right? It's ridiculous. It's absurd. It shouldn't be taken seriously. Like, again, the reality of COVID is rather different than, like, the media presentation of it. Like, it hasn't stopped the economy. It hasn't infected our food lines. It's like people aren't dying in the street. Like, hospitals aren't overloaded. Like, there's nothing about COVID that's impacting our economy other than the mandated government shutdown that probably never should have happened. Like, it's just... Again, it's ridiculous, but all right. Happy first day of school to many of our students. Everyone deserves to feel safe in their community. This is what we're all supposed to be fighting for, but last night saw more senseless violence in Portland. Another minority-owned local business was destroyed by a violent group of individuals. I wonder who those individuals were. A police officer was filmed repeatedly striking an individual at a protest. Oh, no. The police, oh no, they're actively going after the peaceful protesters. Oh, even the building where I live, along with dozens of other families, was violently attacked. These acts range from stupid to dangerous to criminal. The violence must stop. None of this should sit well with any thinking Portlander. You mean the Trump-supporting Portlanders? Ooh, please read my entire statement on last night's violence on my Facebook page. Can you look at Facebook if you don't have a Facebook? Yeah, I actually don't use Facebook at all. Oops, fuck you. Everyone deserves to feel safe in their community. This is what we're all supposed to be fighting for. But last night saw more senseless violence in Portland. Another minority-owned local business was destroyed by a violent group of individuals. A police officer was filmed repeatedly striking an individual at a protest. Even the building where I live, along with dozens of other families, was violently attacked. Man, the police are getting way out of hand. These acts range from stupid to dangerous to criminal. The violence must stop. None of this should sit well with any thinking Portlander. Arson and terrorizing families with children does nothing except steal and distract from the important message of the racial justice movement. Organizations in the community who encourage or condone these actions are complicit. Elected leaders, or those seeking office, who remain silent in the midst of these acts of violence and criminal destruction are equally complicit. Is this why he's hated? Because he's calling Antifa out on their shit? The community must rise up and say enough is enough. So he's still allowing them to riot, but he's still saying that, like, these people, like, the protests aren't really justified. Like, the violent aspect of it isn't really justified. Is that why they hate him? I was elected by you to do this job, so I'm going to do it. You're going to be out of office, I'm sure. I stand by our positive movement for police reform. Nope. And I stand by the hundreds of thousands of Portlanders who want to peacefully protest and ask for more reform. I call on my colleagues and all Portlanders to join me in denouncing violence and to actively oppose it by finding positive ways to let your voices be heard and to bring about the changes you want to see. We join the many activists who call for the continued peaceful protests. I will work with you to use every tool to move toward the systemic changes needed at every level of government. Why do we need to change the entire government to cater to a couple of criminals? You know what I mean? Like, no, that is completely unnecessary and ridiculous. Either you are with centering the heavy work of dismantling institutional racism, or you are not. These acts of violence distract us, and they must stop. As mayor, I was always fight for your constitutional rights, no matter your politics. I will always fight for your ability to disagree with my actions, police actions, and the actions of your... Wait a minute! I will always fight for your ability to disagree with police actions. What? And the actions of your neighbors. What? What I will not stand for is endangering the lives of your fellow Portlanders. This is unacceptable to me and is unacceptable to our community. If you're participating in violence, I want to be clear, I denounce your actions. State and local law enforcement is working together to hold you accountable. Ooh, we want to reform the police, but we're going to sick the police on you. So hypocritical, so two-faced. Like, what a fucking douchebag. You do realize that BLM, these groups, want to abolish the police entirely, right? Like, oops, okay. But this isn't just about what you should do. This must also be about what you need to do. Vote. Vote for who? Support the work of the POC caucus in the Oregon legislature. There are many opportunities to get to work, both through government and through the local community organizations that are doing incredible work on behalf of Portlanders and pushing us all to do better together. Yeah, this is really fucking dumb. Let's look at the comments. This is really fucking dumb. I need some water. Excuse me. Like you can see what they're doing here. Vote. Like, that's all you need to do. Vote Democrat, and we'll promise we'll end racism. That's the promise. That's the implication of this entire post. Like, vote Democrat, and we'll end racism. Like, that's just dumb. Racism was beaten the day Donald Trump was voted out of office. Your poor grasp of reality and lack of understanding of what Antifa really are is unconscionable. You're poorly suited for mayor and should step aside. I can't tell if this guy is pro or anti-Antifa. Only one candidate was Republican and the rest were Dems. Yeah, Dem-controlled areas are the worst. They're fucking... Okay. I mean, there's a reason all this is happening in the shithole Democrat cities. Defund Ted Wheeler. Enough with the defunding, okay? We don't need to defund people to prove our fucking point. Okay, that's just really dumb. I've been streaming for 40 minutes already. As people exercise their right to protest all across the country, let the undeniable paths of our progress be a guide going forward. Peaceful, sustained protest, strategic, committed organizing, and purposeful, overwhelming participation at the ballot box. They always do this. Like, go out and vote Democrat. Like, what a piece of shit. Obama, I fucking hate Obama, that piece of shit. Damn. What a little shit. Stop. Yeah, AOC needs to go. I'm sick of her crazy eyes. Star Wars actor accuses Disney of racism. Oh, Star Wars actor accuses Disney of race. Okay, John. Yeah, I saw this earlier today. We might as well cover this because we were talking about race anyway. John Boyega, the Black Stormtrooper, who he's always race baiting, man. Like, this motherfucker. I swear, even before the movies came out, he was like, was he? I want to say, this motherfucker was so smug when he first got the part. He really thought he was going to be like a big Hollywood star, and now that the movies are over, now his character was basically a joke. It's the comic relief character, as I recall. Like, he's not happy. Like, it just goes to show you that these woke individuals will toss you aside in favor of white women. Here's what I don't get about the oppression Olympics. Like, how exactly are white women more oppressed than black men? Like, that seems how it turns out sometimes. Like, it feels like the whole woke thing, it's just a way to, like, appeal to, like, stupid white Western women. It's like, I don't know. Okay, Star Wars actor accuses Disney of racism in blistering interview. Boyega said white characters had more depth than the minority characters. Ray, depth? What do you mean by depth? Do you mean, like, ruining the entire fucking franchise? One of the major actors of the latest Star Wars trilogy accused Disney of sidelining his character and other minority characters out of racism. John Boyega, who portrayed the character Finn, accused the company of not giving minority characters enough depth or character development while making white characters with more substance. He made the comments in an interview with British GQ. You get yourself involved in projects and you're not necessarily going to like everything. But what I would say to Disney is do not bring out a black character, market them to be much more important in the franchise than they are, and then have them pushed to the side. It's not good. I'll say it straight up, said Boyega. He went on to accuse the creators of hinting at a greater role for his and another minority character, but then falling short in the last movie. Like, you guys knew what to do with Daisy Ridley. You knew what to do with Adam Driver, Boyega continued. You knew what to do with those other people. When it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, fuck all. So what do you want to say to me? What they want you to say is, I enjoyed being a part of it. It was a great experience. Nah, said Boyega. This motherfucker has been so this motherfucker is never going to work with Disney again. He shit talks them way too much. Like, he's seriously accusing them of being racist. Like, and I don't think it's going to help him get more parts. Like, at least not from them. I don't know. Like, he was really active in Black Lives Matter, which is really weird because I think he's British. So he was like over here like protesting, which doesn't make any sense to me. But I'll take that deal when it's a great experience, he added. They gave all the nuance to Adam Driver, all the nuance to Daisy Ridley. Let's be honest. Daisy knows this. Adam knows this. Everybody does. I'm not exposing anything. Nobody likes Daisy Ridley. I don't know anything about Daisy Ridley other than the fact she was in the movie and she's not hot. That's all I know about her. Like, that's what I know about Daisy. She didn't have nuance. Like, she didn't have depth. Her character was awful. Okay. Some fans were offended and angry by Boyega's accusations, while others were supportive of them. Boyega addressed a social media response in a tweet from his account. These conversations and me sharing isn't about a witch hunt. It's about to clarify into an anger that can be seen as selfish, disruptive, and self-indulgent. Obviously, in hopes of better change. Bruh, in short, I said what I said, he concluded. Love you all seriously. Your support is amazing. What the fuck? He's always doing this. I really need to, like, look up all the weird shit this guy has said, because he's always, like, accusing Disney of being the company that hired him to begin with of being racist. Like, the thing as I understood it, early on, like, I think the implication early on, right, was that he was told that his character would be in a relationship with Daisy Ridley's character. So he would end up fucking. So Finn would end up fucking Rey. So he was talking all this shit like, "Oh, you mad, Star Wars fans? I'm fucking the lead girl in the new movie. You mad?" And that didn't happen. And he was so. Didn't he get with like some chubby Asian chick? And that led to like the movie bombing in China because the Chinese hate that shit. It's again, I don't follow like all these Star Wars controversies. Like, who can follow all of them? Like, you can talk about the weird retcons of the EU. You can talk about the terrible new movies. Who even saw Episode 9? Who even remembers that Solo came out? You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck cares about Star Wars in the modern age? Oh, by the way, praise be to Pokemon. Pokemon has officially surpassed Star Wars as the most profitable franchise in the world, and it seems like it's going to stay that way. Like, I legit think that once we get, like, a really good Pokemon film series going, it's going to be, like, one of the biggest properties ever. Like, people are very, very much in denial about that, about how big Pokemon actually is, right? Like, people have been calling it a fad for, like, 20 years, right? But, I don't know, man. Like, it's the biggest thing in the world. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, the same people shit-talking Pokemon are trying to defend, like, modern Star Wars. It's just dumb. Like, it's just really, really dumb. All right, so is that everything I wanted to do tonight? Yeah, I think that's good enough. Yeah, I talk shit about pedophiles. I talk shit about everything. All right, sorry for coming on a bit too late, guys. I think I'm gonna log off and watch some anime, chill, do some stuff, play some Dragon Quest. Let me know if there are any subjects you want me to cover. I'll probably go over some of the Antifa documents I have here tomorrow, if they're still